This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the town of North Haven.
Pump and iron every day, push-ups, running, this and that, so.
It's amazing we have time to run that. I think they're already on, Bill.
We got a red light on though. Mike doesn't have a red light on. Neither does David.
Oh, is there a light that's supposed to be on?
No, I got a red light on, which makes me wonder whether it's working.
I think you're okay.
You think so?
He's telling us we're okay.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Nobody
ladies
wants
and
to hear me
gentlemen,
anyhow.
good evening, I should say, and welcome to our December Board of Selectmen meeting. I'm Mike Frieda, North Haven's first selectman, joined by our second selectman, Mr. William Piper, and our newly third selectman, Mr. David Cohen. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So I'd like to welcome our third selectman, Mr. David Cohen, to our Board of Selectmen. And David, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you all, and nice to see you out there. I always remember Michael does that. He reminds me that there's folks out there watching. So it's nice to see everybody. Which camera do we look at, by the way? This one back there. Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm looking over there, and then nobody's there. So it's nice to be here. I am very excited to be representing the town of North Haven and working with Michael and Bill. And with that, let's get to work. We have a long agenda today. So, Michael, thank you so much for the introduction.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, item number 2, public comment relative to tonight's agenda.
I'd like to motion to amend the agenda to include the appointment of Jennifer Caldwell, unaffiliated, 69 Kimberly Circle, to the Commission of Aging to fill the unexpired term of Fran Bartlett, Democrat, set to expire December 31st, 2026. And that would be added to, I think, our list of, after the bond releases, item number 13 of our agenda tonight, under resignations and appointments. So I'll move to add, to amend the agenda to include that appointment.
Is there a second?
A second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item number 3.
Mr. Frieda, I have a public comment relative to the agenda. Thank you. Good evening and welcome, David, to the Board of Selectmen
Thanks,
for your
Nancy.
first meeting. At the November 19th Board of Finance meeting, Mr. Frieda gave his assurance that the Board of Selectmen would certainly consider calling a town meeting to vote on the purchase and financing of the new ladder truck. So I was a bit disappointed when I saw the agenda for the first time yesterday to see that consideration and resolution is not actually included in the Board of Selectmen's meeting agenda. So given the kind of unusual circumstances, I was wondering if the Board of Selectmen would be willing to take public commentary on this particular agenda item before you vote, and the agenda item is number 11.
Well, I think Mr. Cohen is going to be talking about this because there's a reason why it's not been called for a town meeting. So we're going to be talking about that during the course of this resolution. So
I know you'll be discussing it, but I didn't see that it was actually a resolution to call a town meeting, so.
do you want to hear?
Still be take
Sure.
comment?
Okay. So, all right, good. I mean, we're kind of stepping out of order here right now, I think, right? So, Val, what do you think on this?
Well, I'm not sure that the public comment is really, I think that
All right, we're going
it's
to.
not a motion to
Right.
bring it to town meeting,
That's
so
right.
that's not the item really on the agenda.
So
Right.
it's not on the agenda. I'm going to turn it over to David Cohen. It's not on the agenda because we flushed this out with the attorneys since the last meeting. I'm going to turn it over to David, and David, I'm going to have you explain it, then we're still going to read the resolution, okay?
Sure. Sounds good. Nancy, thank you very much. It's a really important issue, and after the Board of Finance meeting the other, was it November 19th?
19th, yep.
I know that you brought it up, and Sally as well brought it up. And so I thought it was a really valid point. that you guys were making at the meeting. So I spent some time before this meeting really trying to understand whether or not we need a vote, a town meeting.
Excellent.
So let me start by
But
saying.
hold on, I
Yeah.
don't want to take you completely out of order from your meeting. So, do you want to address it out of order and then with
No,
public
I re-
commentary, or?
I was going to plan on address it during the resolution.
That's
Okay,
totally
so-
fine. If
okay.
you want to return to the actual order of the
All right.
meeting, that's totally fine. And then
Then don't yell at
the question that I was asking though was, would you allow for public commentary after Mr. Cohen gives his statement?
Well, I
Just
mean,
pertaining to this one agenda item, right, as opposed to waiting until the very end.
well, we'd have to make a motion to end the agenda to have public comment after a resolution when we're having public comment at the end of the agenda. We're at the end.
Are you suggesting that the comment come before they vote?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking, yes. And that's really up to your discretion as a meeting moderator.
Well, it's kind of an unusual request, perfectly honest with you, okay? But I will ask Mr. Piper and Mr. Cohen what you think about this.
Yeah, I think, I attended the Board of Finance meeting, and I fully know your position and based on what you said at the meeting. And I think a lot of it has to do with form over actually the pressing need for public safety here to have a ladder truck. So, I think the attorneys have actually vetted the resolution, that it is permissible, that we don't need a town meeting. I thought you brought up, as David said, some good points. But I think the fact that it is a legitimate way for us to, on a lease arrangement, without a town meeting to do this. Because, and I think what the other important factor, like I just said, is that, the fire department needs a ladder truck. They don't have one now. And I think it's a public safety issue, so I think a town meeting is unnecessary.
All right, so we'll hear from David Cohen. I might be inclined just to get a show of hands and see if people are inclined to have public comment. But David, I'm going to turn it over to you right now. Go right ahead.
Sure. Nancy, let me address.
Sure, and then
Yeah.
I'll come back up if I could make a few comments based upon what you say.
Sure.
Because again, Bill, I also
Yeah.
have had time to think about this, and I was really, just like the other Board of Finance
Yeah.
members, handed the resolutions just before the meeting started. So I was kind of caught off guard by a lot of the details and had a lot of time to think about this and do some research as well. But I'm happy to listen to what Mr. Cohen has to say.
Sure.
Please take it over.
Sure. Okay, so on Bill's point, I think it's without question true that the folks of town and for our public safety needs, we need the ladder truck. I was at drill last night at Northeast, and there is a big hole in that bay, and that hole needs to be filled. We need that ladder truck. Obviously, our old ladder truck is no longer functioning. And so I don't think there's any question that we need the ladder truck for the safety of the town, period. And I don't think anyone on the Board of Finance or on this board would suggest otherwise. But the question that you raised at the Board of Finance meeting, which was a very valid question, is whether or not we needed a town meeting to approve the signing of the lease agreement. And so I think it was a really important question, and I wrestled with it. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night because I really was trying to think of all the different pieces of this puzzle. And I spent some time today with our town attorney, Jeff D'Onofrio, as well as having a correspondence with our bond attorney through Jeff. So I worked with our subject matter experts today to really understand the issue. And let me break it down into kind of three prongs, because I think the analysis really rests on three different things. Number one, the first item is whether or not we need a town meeting to authorize the discretionary funds that Michael needs for the first installment of the 10-year payment. The answer to that is no. That Michael and the Board of Finance can authorize discretionary funds for the use of emergency needs. Michael can use those funds for the stated purpose. So there is no need for a town meeting for that first prong. Number two, whether or not we need a town meeting to enter into the lease agreement. So this lease agreement is for a 10-year term, and each year there would be a $211,000 payment to support the remainder of the price tag for this $1.7 million ladder truck. And under our charter, there is actually no specific item related to personal property. There is items in the general statutes of Connecticut related to personal property, but as a town, we tend to treat operating leases the same way we treat like copier machines or other pieces of equipment, and this is considered and characterized as an operating lease. And Michael, as the first selectman, has full authority to sign operating leases without a town meeting, which is what we are going to authorize today in a resolution. And number three, here is the most important prong for me that I worked through with Jeff today, that I think the issue that came up in the Board of Finance, which was really an important issue, was if Michael signs this lease agreement for a 10-year term, does that obligate the town for the next 9 years to pay $211,000? And is that obligation something that the town needs to weigh in on? Do the people have a voice with respect to that obligation? And so I think that's the crux of the issue here, right? Is does the town need to have a voice and approve that appropriation? And what I think the final piece of this analysis and the final prong for me that really sealed the deal as to why we don't need a town meeting is because the lease agreement is actually cancelable at our convenience without penalty, which means, and I want to give you a hypothetical. So let's say that next year so this year Michael has full authority to make the first payment for the ladder truck. We take delivery of the ladder truck December sometime, we make our first payment, we sign a lease agreement for the balance of the payments. We owe $211,000 for the next 9 years. After that, we own the truck. We own the ladder truck. We do not need authority for Michael to make that payment. We got the authority from the Board of Finance. He signs the lease agreement. Next year, that $211,000 payment goes into our budget. The people of North Haven then go to the polls and they vote on that budget. Let's take the hypothetical that the only item in that budget is that $211,000 payment. I know that's a crazy thing to think about because we have a $140 million budget. The only item in that budget is that $211,000 payment. The people of North Haven go to the polls, they can vote up or down on that one item. And then if it turns out that the folks of North Haven decide we don't need that ladder truck, which I think would be a shocking outcome, but let's just assume that that happens. That contract, Michael calls the bank and says, we got to cancel this contract. We don't have the appropriation from the town to support it anymore. We have the right to cancel that contract at our convenience without penalty. That is true, as I learned today, of almost all of our municipal contracts. And the reason for that is because municipalities rely on the public to grant them appropriation rights. We have to go to you and ask for money to support our contractual obligations. And if for some reason the town votes a budget down, we have to take out some of those contractual obligations to comply with the voters' demands. And so every contract that we sign has a non-appropriation provision, which essentially means that if we don't have the money to support it, we can get out of it. And that's very unusual when you sign a contract, right? Usually you have to pay for it. And if you don't, you get sued. But we have the right to get out of that contract without penalty. And this was the piece of the analysis that really clinched it for me. And so the three pieces, to answer your really good question, do we need a town meeting? Number one, we don't for the initial layout of the contingency money from our contingency fund. Number two, Michael has the right to sign an operating lease without a town meeting. And number three, it is cancelable. So next year, the voters have the opportunity to come out, put their vote on a piece of paper and say whether or not they want to support this ladder truck. If the budget fails, and it's clear from folks' public comment or from other things that we hear from the community that people do not want to support the remaining 9 years of this ladder truck, we pull it from the budget, we cancel the contract, the voters have spoken, and there's no further appropriation need or request that the voters did not approve. And so that's why I agree with Michael and I agree with the Board of Finance and I agree with Bill that we do not need a town meeting to approve either the contingency, the lease agreement that we're going to approve today, or moving forward with the actual payment for this year and then next year, which the voters will have an opportunity to up or down. I hope that is clear.
I think it's an excellent summarization. Now, just so you know, that David has some questions on this, call Valerie. We gave David the green light, please call Jeff Narfio and do research.
Yeah.
And David came up with the research, and that is his opinion. Supporting the opinion that we had in the beginning, that Bill Piper had, I had. We listened to the comments. We gave David the opportunity to research. He could have come back with a different answer, but he came back with that answer.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I came at this with a very open mind because I never want to take away the power of this town to make decisions for itself about how it spends its money. That is the most important thing we do here, is give the people the power to say up or down on the choices that we make, or the Board of Finance makes, or the Board of Ed makes about how our money is being spent. If we don't have the right to appropriate money because the town doesn't want us to, we can't do it. That's all. And in this instance, I went to Jeff and I went to our bond attorney and said, hey, I need to understand everything about this. I need to understand what the contract says. I want to go through the whole analysis with you, which they were very happy to do, because I was ready to say, exactly as Michael said, that we should go to a town vote, because I think it would have been a very logical outcome. But the fact that we can cancel the contract really changed that outcome for me. And that's where the analysis moved to, we need a town vote, to we actually don't.
There you have it.
I hope that's clear for folks. I'm happy to continue chatting about it. I got a lot more notes on it, but I don't know if you want to go through that.
Could I make some comments on this, or?
Yeah, of course. I don't know, Michael, it's up to you.
Yes. So I certainly appreciate that analysis, and I think the points that you make are very important. However, have you actually taken a look at both our town charter, section 707, as well as Connecticut General Statute 7-348?
I know those, please, go ahead,
So-
continue talking.
So the point is this: you've kind of skipped over the purchase contract and gone to the financing contract. You can't have financing unless you have done the purchasing properly. So let me just clarify what I'm talking about. So first of all, 7 months ago, when we had our May referendum and the 25-26 budget was approved, no portion of the acquisition cost of this ladder truck was included in the budget. So it's not in the budget. And Mr. Frieda didn't have an attorney review this contract before he signed it back in 2023. But when he did put pen to paper and signed that purchase contract, it is a binding truck purchase, locked in 3 things. He purchased a $1.7 million made-to-specification area ladder truck, which is like an irrevocable purchase order. Second, he initiated the customized ladder truck production process by the manufacturer. And third, he obligated the town to pay at least the truck purchase price, and even more if we finance it.
So you're missing a step, the 4th step. And the 4th step is the existing truck blew up. And we're at a tremendous disadvantage.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't purchase this truck.
What are you saying?
I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that the decision that you made to sign that contract should have been preceded by a town meeting vote. And we can still address that today by calling for a town meeting vote for 2 things. 1, to actually approve the purchase of the truck, and 2, to approve the financing of the truck. They're 2 separate things. And I think that it is very important, and this general statute that I mentioned actually says that you do not have the authority to sign that contract. You do not have the ability to actually purchase
The 7 months ago?
the $1.7 million contract. He did not have the authority to do that in the absence of a town meeting. And this statute actually says any amount in excess of $20,000 that is not in the budget, and that's why I made that point, cannot be made and cannot be issued unless we have a town meeting vote. And so that's why I think it is very important, and I'm not just saying this to be a stickler for the rules. This is the law. This is what our town charter requires, and this is what the law requires.
But our town attorney doesn't agree with you.
2 town attorneys don't agree with you.
So
So-
I don't agree with you either.
2 town attorneys do not agree with you.
So I thank you for your comments, but I think
And we have an
it's-
attorney here
I
who
think-
reviewed it.
So do you agree that based upon our town charter and this particular general statute, that we do not need a town meeting vote in order to authorize Mr. Frieda to make that purchase that he signed more than 2 years ago?
So I'm gonna take your question, I'm gonna split it in half.
Okay, sure.
So what I just went through, the analysis I just went through was specific and related to whether or not we needed a town meeting for Michael to sign the lease agreement.
The financing.
That's what I just went
The
through.
financing, yes.
You're written now. The other piece
Go back.
is okay. So at the meeting on the 19th,
Yes,
Michael, the very first thing he said was, "I made a mistake. I should not have signed this contract. I did not know that I was obligating the town, and this is what happened." He was very honest and transparent about
sure, and I appreciate
saying
that.
to everybody in that
Yes.
room, including all the folks on that camera, that is not a camera,
Mm-hmm.
that this is what happened,
Sure,
and here is what we're going to do. I think in local government, I haven't been involved in local government that long, but I can already tell you after a couple days of this, there's a lot of gray. And I think the outcomes
question.
here,
No question.
you got to be pragmatic, and you got to think about materiality, and you got to think about what's in the best interest of the town, and try to get to the best outcome possible, right?
No
And
question
so,
about it.
from the perspective of what we're going to do today, I think I am very confident that our town attorneys, after what I went through with them today and what I just spoke about, I'm very confident that we do not need a town meeting to support the resolution on the agenda today. Number one. Number two, whether or not we needed a town meeting for Michael to sign the purchase order whenever you signed it 2 years
2023,
ago,
yeah.
it's a fait accompli. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is trying to address the issue today. It's the pragmatism I'm talking about. Let me continue the thought.
Sure.
So your concern that the people do not have a voice with respect to that purchase order is being addressed by the analysis that I went through with respect to the leasing agreement and whether or not the people next year approve the budget. And if they approve the budget and it's clear that that truck is in there with $211,000 for the next 9 years, people will say, this is our opportunity to approve this ladder truck. We know there was a mistake made 2 years ago. This is our opportunity to cleanse that mistake. And if the people next year say clearly to us, we don't want that ladder truck, again, I think that would be a shocking result, but let's say they do, we cancel the contract. And was anyone hurt in that? Was the town hurt? Were the people's voices lost? The answer is no, right? Because Michael has full authority for the outlay of the contingency fund from the Board of Finance. He has full authority to sign an operating lease, full authority. That is both from our town attorney and has been historically the practice of this town. And next year, the people have the opportunity to give it up or down vote. And if the people say no, there's no more appropriation outlay. There's no more expenditure that the town is going to make without their approval.
So that's not what was said at
so
the
what
board.
I am saying to you is we are
The
cleansing.
voters did approve the contingency.
Yes, and what I'm saying
So
to you.
it was approved.
What I'm
by the
saying to you,
voters
Nancy,
at the
is
town
we're
meeting on a-
cleansing the issue
on a contingency
from 2 years
basis
ago.
so that it could be done.
Sorry, Bill, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. What I'm saying to
That
you
was
is we are
approved.
cleansing the issue from 2 years ago that Michael inadvertently signed, that he said, I shouldn't have done this. We're cleansing that issue with exactly the process that I have set up.
So a contract that is signed in error does not exempt the signer from complying with the law, correct?
Continue your,
He is complying.
It is signed in error, and it doesn't matter whether he signed it willingly or in error. The consequences are the same. You still have to get town meeting approval for a purse over $20,000, period.
but the approval is to give the people a voice about the expenditure, correct?
The original purchase of the truck.
Yes.
Not the financing. The purchase of the truck required town meeting approval.
And I believe that that issue is cleansed. That issue is cleansed
By what?
by giving the people the opportunity next year to have a vote on whether or not the truck should be in the budget going forward.
So if we pursue this particular form of financing, and it is in the budget for the next 9 years, Mr. Frieda said very specifically, if the budget is voted down, that payment still needs to be made.
Nancy, I answered that.
I know you answered that, but
Yes.
it's contrasting what was said at the Board of Finance meeting.
Well, it
But-
would need to be paid.
So if
because-
you cancel the contract, then what happens to the truck?
Goes back, that's their collateral.
You're gonna return a custom-made truck.
Nancy, that's how the contract works. If we cancel the contract, the collateral returns to the vendor.
To the third party or to the
M&T
manufacturer?
Bank, I think it's with M&T. M&T Bank takes the truck. That's their collateral. That's why you can cancel it
That's why
without
you can cancel
penalty.
it. 'Cause
and then we are without anything.
That's why the town is going to approve it.
that's why the town-
But the town is approving a budget. It is
I
in its entirety.
understand that we have to think about this
When
in
we have
isolation.
contractual obligations, we still have those contractual obligations,
Maybe-
right?
Nancy, the whole crowd is disagreeing with you. I want you to know. People are laughing here. I don't want that to happen to you. So we're going to open this up. Tim, who wants to talk here, okay?
I just want to know if there's a limit to public comment, especially when we're talking about something 2 years ago. That's just my.
Well,
only
it is not
question.
2 years ago, it's actually right now. It's right now.
I'm getting the impression it's 2
It was signed,
years ago.
signed 2 years ago
It's a point of order,
inappropriately.
not an argument.
Yep.
That we're trying to call here in
Yep.
terms of, are we gonna enforce the 5-minute limit on public comment?
Yes, okay, we are. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move forward here. We've had 10 minutes here to speak. We're going to go through this resolution, and we're going to call for the vote.
You want to go right to Resolution 11?
Can we
No,
just
I think we-
backtrack
Backtrack.
and just,
Okay.
let's
I
just,
think we have to go back through the order of the
Yeah.
agenda.
let's go back to
Yes.
All right,
number
so-
3.
All right, so we're going to go back to number 3 now and get back on point here. The appointment of Vic Cohen, 55 Tokeniki Drive, North Haven, Connecticut, as Secretary of the Board of Selectmen.
I will make a motion to approve David's appointment as secretary to the Board of Selectmen.
I'll make a second, I'll second that. Any other discussion? Abstention?
Abstain.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second, we have an abstention. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Welcome, as our secretary, David.
Thank you, thank you.
Item number 4, the approval of the minutes of the Board of Select meeting of November 6, 2025. So, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 11/6/2025.
I'll second that motion by David.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Item number 5, we're going to dispense with this overview for tonight, and we're going to move into item number 6. So who would like to handle that, David or Bill?
I think traditionally we've alternated, so.
Sure.
You did the previous one, and I guess I'll do the next one. Item number 6 on the agenda is to consider and vote upon a blanket resolution authorizing the town of North Haven to enter into and deliver any and all documents necessary to the State of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, Division of the State Historic Preservation Office, enabling participation in the fiscal year 2026 State Survey and Planning Grant Program, which I think we've done in the past. Mike, do you want to
Yep.
comment on that?
Well, we'll go to a second, then we'll do discussion. Okay, David?
Second.
All right.
Well, you have to read the resolution,
I got to read the
please.
resolution. I didn't know if Mike wanted to comment on it first.
All right, well, yeah,
Okay,
let me
I'll-
comment. This is a very important initiative. We have some people here from the Historical Society. We support them 1,000% here in town. We look at the historical aspect of our town to be very, very important. We've done things there. We put a new roof on there. We've had a specialized roofing contractor do that, not just a general contractor, to protect the integrity of the historic aspect. We work very closely with Ann Clark, with Jim. Steve has been a great asset for us and the entire Historical Society. We've worked on projects down at the Martha Culver House, and we've got more to do there. So this is a very important grant, and this grant allows us to move forward to continue to improve the historical aspect of our town in this building. Now, although it may appear this grant's a $20,000 match, the $20,000 is not a town match. It's coming out of money we already have from the state that we're going to use for a match, and that's been authorized by the state of Connecticut.
Actually, it's a federal grant, it's a HUD grant.
It's a HUD
HUD.
grant, that's right. Just said it's a HUD grant, that's the grant. So it moves the town forward, it continues to support that historical aspect of these buildings, and it also, and I say it secondarily, but it's really equally, the work that this group has done to manage that historical society and the things they've done for the town of North Haven to not only keeping the integrity of the historical aspect, but perpetuating the integrity. The things we've done there, the donations that are there, if anyone would like to go and visit it, it's a wonderful, beautiful step back in time for the way North Haven was and how it was built down through the years. That's what I have to say.
Mike, based on your comments, then I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll motion to resolve that the Town of North Haven Board of Selectmen may enter into with and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, Division of the State Historic Preservation Office, any and all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate, and further resolve that Michael J. Frieda, as first selectman of the Town of North Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the Town of North Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which he deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents. I'll make those two resolutions.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion?
Mike, can I make a comment? Or do you
Ann?
want to wait until after you vote? You can.
And I'm going to give you the courtesy to make a comment. Go right ahead.
Okay, Ann Clark, I live at 27 Bowling Green Drive, and I am one of the co-presidents of the Historical Society right now. And Mike, just to go back for a second, the town is always very supportive. We're very lucky to have such a strong support from the Town of North Haven for the Historical Society. This grant is a planning grant. It will help us with what we're doing with the Martha Culver House. We have a HUD grant, which we've had for a couple of years. We've been working on it. As with everything, COVID slowed everything down. And the money that we originally received that we thought would take care of what we want to do is not going to make it. So this $20,000 matching grant will help. And as Mike said, it won't cost the town anything. It's $20,000 from the State Historic Preservation Organization, and it will be used toward the work at Martha Culver. And our goal at Martha Culver is to make it handicapped accessible, to create a meeting space for people in town, which we definitely need, and to reopen this house museum, which the people in town have been waiting for a long time. So we appreciate your support, and I think it's kind of a no-brainer because it doesn't cost us anything. We always like free money.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we have a motion, we have a second. David, any other discussion? Bill? All right, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Based on Ann's comments,
Very good. Aye.
aye.
All right. So
David?
now, David?
Number 8, to consider and act upon a resolution authorizing the sale and disposal of certain public works equipment. Do you want to say anything before the resolution?
Yeah, so what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is, as David just read, okay, that we, whether it's equipment or cars, we have, in this case, Public Works equipment, what we do is when they age out, we basically either put it out to auction, we try to get as much money as we can, and we put it back in the general fund. This is a procedure that we've done here for many, many years. And in certain areas, like on police cars or other apparatus we may have, sometimes we get a pretty good price on that. And we go back to the general fund and we use it and apply it to expenditures that we need to replace some of this equipment. So that's kind of the gist of it, so.
Okay.
Read the resolution.
Resolution?
Please.
Yeah.
Resolved that the Town of North Haven authorizes the auction and disposal of the following surplus public works equipment. The Director of Procurement and Administration, Richard Monaco, is authorized to determine acceptable bid offers and/or take said equipment to alternate auction locations. All revenue received will be returned to the town's general fund. And there's 2 pieces of equipment here. 2 airflow stainless steel 2-yard sanders, serial number PSV 023305 and serial number PSV 023194.
Okay, very good, David. We have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Second. We have the motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Next.
That brings us to item number 10 on the agenda, to consider and act upon a resolution authorizing a lease purchase financing for the acquisition of a fire ladder truck. Resolution authorizing a lease purchase financing for the acquisition of a fire ladder truck. Resolved that the Town of North Haven undertake a lease purchase financing of the cost of the acquisition of a fire ladder truck in a principal amount not to exceed $1,755,000 for a term not in excess of 10 years. The project may include acquisition and installation cost, equipment, legal fees, construction, period interest, and other financing costs, and other expenses related to the acquisition and financing of the project. That the town hereby declares, item number B, that the town hereby declares its official intent under federal income tax regulations, section 1.150-2, that any project costs paid from temporary advances of available funds will be reimbursed with the proceeds of a lease financing in an aggregate principal amount not in excess of the amount the lease authorized for the project, and to authorize the first selectman to amend such declaration of official intent as said official deems necessary or advisable, and to bind the town pursuant to such representations and covenants as said official deems necessary or advisable in order to maintain the continued exemption from federal income taxation of the interest portion of any payments due under the lease authorized by the resolution if issued on a tax-exempt basis, including covenants to pay rebates of investment earnings to the United States in future years. Part C, that the first selectman is authorized to approve, execute, and deliver on behalf of the town any lease purchase agreement, related instruments including an escrow agreement, and any certificates, other documents related to the project or the financing, and is authorized to determine the amounts, dates, interest rates, maturities, prepayment terms, form, and other details of the lease purchase agreement, to determine whether it is in the best interest of the town to enter into a lease purchase financing in such form and manner that interest therein is not excluded from gross income for federal income tax purposes, and to perform all other acts and execute all other documents which are necessary or appropriate to enter into the lease purchase agreement. And then item D of this resolution, neither this resolution, the agreement, or any other instrument shall be construed with respect to the town as incurring a pecuniary liability or charge upon the general credit of the town or against its taxing power, nor shall the breach of any agreement, instrument, or document executed in conjunction with this resolution impose any pecuniary liability upon the town or any charge upon its general credit or against its taxing power, except to the extent that payments due under any such agreement, instrument, document, are special limited obligations of the town. And finally, item number E of the resolution, that the first selectmen and other proper officers and officials of the town are authorized to take any action which is necessary or desirable to enable the town to complete the project and to effect the aforesaid lease purchase financing. So that completes the resolution.
Is there a motion?
Michael, would you mind if I said one thing?
Go, please, yes, go ahead.
The one other thing I wanted to mention that I think is helpful for folks to understand, Jenny Caldwell brought this up the other day, which is a really good point. Some of the other towns around here bond for stuff like this, and I asked our town attorney about that very point. And the reason he said we would prefer this, because for this amount of money, it is far less expensive for us as a town to use a lease purchase agreement than it is to bond. With bonding, there are other investment costs, fees, legal fees, issuance fees for the bond itself. You have to shop the bonds. So there's more fees and costs associated with bonding for something like this. And so the reason the town has chosen this path with a lease financing is because it just costs us less. So that's why we do that for this particular amount of money and for this one truck. For a larger expenditure, we may choose to
Yes,
bond.
exactly.
But for this, it's a less expensive option. So I just wanted to mention that because Jenny, was a good question, yes.
Very good point. Okay. Is there a motion?
I've made the resolution motion to
Second.
Is there a
accept
second?
this resolution. I'll motion.
Now, we've sort of gone out of order here a little bit, but I want this group here, who's here today. Would anyone like to comment on this before we take the vote? Mary?
Okay, so my opinion relative to the fire engine ladder truck is that this truck was in the fire chief's capital improvement portion of the budget, so it's not like, oh, it doesn't exist. And this is about public safety first and foremost. The truck that blew up, that the town is the third owner of that truck. It was never meant to last 25, 30 years. And it takes companies who build these fire trucks anywhere between 2, 3, and 5 years to manufacture these trucks. So the signing, the commitment of this fire engine ladder truck in 2023 is, in my opinion, a happy planning accident. Had this commitment not happened in 2023, the truck that blew up would still have blown up, and the town would be without a fire engine ladder truck. Plus, the cost to order a fire engine ladder truck now would be more. I thought I heard at the fire commission meeting approximately maybe $300,000 more. And also, we would have to wait for that truck. So I'm absolutely in favor of this.
This is the pragmatic aspect that David was talking about. This is the pragmatism of the matter. Anybody else? Okay. Any objections to what we're doing?
Not objections, just wanted to make a comment. Sorry, I was told things, couldn't get them out. Can I get comments?
Yes.
Had cold hands, did not want to keep them out from my arms. Alex Johnson, 50 Fallon Drive. I just wanted to first say, like, I'm appreciative for David, because not only do we have an awesome now third selectman, but we also have a firefighter that specializes and understands this. I just want to say I'm grateful and glad that we are buying this ladder truck, because if you've turned on the news, or I've even talked to David about this, how as it gets colder, people get desperate to create heat, even in ways that are not safe, whether it's opening their ovens and turning on the heat blast, using unsafe space heaters and matter. So there's an even greater urgency than normal in the fact that it's winter, and that there is a higher rate of fires during wintertime than during summer. So I'm glad we're buying this truck. I'm grateful for David, and I can't emphasize the safety risk that we are at here right now. So that's just going to be my quick comment.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Bill? David?
Nope.
Okay. All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item. Bond releases.
Okay. Read through?
David?
I'm going to read through. So.
We do them individually, David.
Individually?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So, as Val explained to me right before the meeting started, these bond releases are for folks who are developing something in town, and they put up a bond to ensure compliance, and so now we're releasing the funds associated with that compliance bond. We have a handful here. Number P20-22, Classic Car Wash, 315 Washington Avenue. Amount of original bond, $3,500. Current balance, $3,500. Release the entire bond balance of $3,500 with the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do we vote on each one?
Yes.
I'll second that approval.
All right, motion and a second. Any other discussion? And this happened the other night at the Board of Finance, Planning and Zoning meeting. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Next item.
And then I'll motion to number I-23-05, 200 McDermott Road, amount of original bond $3,500, current balance of bond $3,500, release of the entire balance of $3,500 with the recommendation of the Inland Wetlands Commission. I'll motion to approve that bond release.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Number P24-24, Speeders Car Wash, 315 Washington Avenue. Amount of original bond, $12,000, current balance, $12,000. Release the entire bond balance, $12,000, with the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Is there a second?
I'll second that approval of that release.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
No.
Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next bond release is number P21-15, Medtronics, DeGrasser Building, 60 Middletown Avenue. Amount of original bond, $2,500. Current balance of bond, $2,500. Release the entire bond balance of $2,500 with the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'll motion for approval of that bond release.
Second?
All right, motion, second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Number P22-15, Medtronics Pickup Drop-Off Facility, 200 McDermott Road. Amount of original bond, $2,500. Current balance of bond, $2,500. Release the entire bond balance of $2,500. Motion for the release of this bond balance.
Okay, is there a 2nd?
I'll second that release.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next.
Next item on the agenda is item number 13, resignations and appointments. And we earlier at the beginning did discuss a change to the agenda as part of beginning tonight's meeting. So based on that change to the agenda, I'll motion for the approval of the appointment of Jennifer Caldwell, 69 Kimberly Circle, to the Commission on Aging to fill the unexpired term of Fran Bartlett, set to expire December 31st, 2026.
Second?
And in the discussion, I would just like to say that Fran Bartlett was a dear friend of ours. She was 94 years old, and she was as spry and as wonderful as you could ever want to meet a person. And she really loved the town of North Haven. She passed away. It was a very sad day. I was awake. I know the family very well. So Fran was a very, very important member of our senior citizen center, and she spent a lot of time on the finance committee at the Senior Citizen Center. She worked very closely on this aging commission, and she was a role model for all of us. So I'd like to ask for a moment of just silence for Fran Bartlett, if you would indulge me. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very nice one.
Bill, you want to every other? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can
We
alternate.
got it. Appointment of Brian James Sargent, who's in the audience today, 43 Lexington Gardens, as an alternate to the Blight Prevention Appeals Board for a 2-year term expire December 31st, 2027.
I'll second Brian's appointment.
Brian, we welcome you. Thank you for your willingness to serve. You know, sometimes the Blight Commission is not a neat commission because there's a lot of emotion with people coming in, and there's complaints against blight, and there's fines sometimes. So we certainly appreciate the fact that you're willing to step up and be part of this. Welcome aboard. We'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And we'll do the next one. I'll make a motion for the appointment of David A. Cohen, 55 Tokenic Drive, to the Economic Development Commission for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
We have a motion, and I'll make the second.
You'll make the second. David will
I will abstain.
abstain or recuse himself.
Yes.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion, Bill?
Thank you for volunteering to do that as well. So I will, based on, I will approve David, I'll vote to approve David's appointment.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. David?
Sure.
Thank you.
Appointment of Ziv Quinzel, 65 Potter Road, to the Commission on Aging for a 3-year term set to expire December 31st, 2028.
I'll second that, the appointment of Ziv.
All right, we have a motion and a second. In the discussion, Ziv, thank you for your willingness to serve. We look forward to having you on this commission. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll motion for the reappointment of Christine Umstadt, 216 Quinnipiac Avenue, number 211, to the Commission on Aging for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
We have a motion, is a second.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. In the discussion, I'd like to thank Christine for her willingness to be reappointed, so we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Reappointment of Nupur Garg, 114 Upper State Street, to the Commission on Aging for a 3-year term set to expire 12/31/28.
Second is reappointment.
All right, motion, second. Par, thank you very much for willing to stay on this. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion for the appointment of Holden Mead, 200 Rimmen Road, to the to the Blight Prevention Appeals Board for a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 27.
Second.
All right. Alden, thank you very much for your willingness to continue to serve. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Reappointment of Lynn Frederickson, 85 Pool Road, to the Blight Prevention Appeals Board for a 2-year term set to expire December 31st, 2027.
I'll second Lynn's reappointment.
All right. Lynn, thank you for your willingness to serve. So all those in favor, we'll call for that vote.
Aye.
Aye. I'll motion for the reappointment of Stephen M. Miller, 116 Burke Road, to the Blight Prevention Appeals Board for a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 2027.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. Thank you very much for your willingness to continue to serve. All in favor?
Reappointment of Philip Kinsella, 135 Tokenique Drive, to the Building Board of Appeals for a 5-year term set to expire December 30th, 2030.
I'll second Philip's reappointment.
All right. Motion and a second. Philip, thank you for your willingness to continue. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll motion for the reappointment of Frida, 90 Highland Road, to the Cemetery Commission for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll second.
I'll abstain.
All in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Linda Nielsen, 15 Sachem Drive, to the Community Services Commission for a 3-year term set to expire December 31st, 2028.
I'll second the reappointment of Lynn Nielsen.
Okay. Thank you, Lynn, for your willingness to serve. We'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is I'll make a motion for the reappointment of Michelle L. Spader, 15 Leeton Court, to the Community Services Commission for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
I second the reappointment.
All right, we have the motion and a second. Thank you for your willingness to serve, Lucio. All those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Marilena Imperati, 112 Arrowdale Road, to the Community Services Commission for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
I'll second Marilina's reappointment.
We have a motion and a second. I'd like to go back to thank Michelle Spader for her willingness to serve, so we'll call for this vote on Marilena. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the reappointment of Lucia Rafala, 333 Middletown Avenue, to the Community Services Commission for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
I second.
All right, motion and a second. Already thanked Lucia, so all those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Louis G. Silva to the Economic Development Commission for a 3-year term set to expire 12/31/28.
I'll second Lewis's reappointment.
All right, thank you, Louis. Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion for the appointment of Robert Nielsen, 15 Satram Drive, to the Economic Development Commission for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2028.
Second.
Motion, second. Thank you, Rob. All those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Anthony P. Soley, 53 Fieldstone Court, to the Housing Authority for a 5-year term set to expire 12/31/2030.
I'll second his reappointment.
Motion, second. Thank you, Anthony. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion for the reappointment of Frank Bumstead, 1925 Hartford Turnpike, to the Inland Wetlands Commission for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Second. Just real quick on Frank. Frank is a longtime firefighter, now fire, as we used to call police. Frank is a wonderful person. I love Frank. He's also a farmer, and he had a calf yesterday born on his farm. So
Did he?
it was pretty cool.
That's
Told me
pretty
all
cool,
about
yeah.
it. Anyway, I second Frank's appointment. Frank's a great guy.
Congratulations, Frank. And thank you for continuing to serve. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Reappointment of James LaRusso, 93 Arrowdale Road, to the Inland Wetlands Commission for a 4-year term set to expire 12/31/29.
I'll second that reappointment.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Thank you, James. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the motion for the reappointment of Pamela Sletton, 9 Frost Drive, as an alternate on the Inland Wetlands Commission for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Second?
Okay, motion second. Thank you, Pamela. All those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Kevin Patrick Smith, 395 Skiff Street, to the Library Board of Directors for a 6-year term set to expire 12/31/2031.
I'll second that reappointment.
Thank you, Kevin. All those in favor?
Aye. I'll motion for the reappointment of Mary Ann Hardy, 37 Brockett Farm Road, to the Library Board of Directors for a 6-year term to expire December 31st, 2031.
Second?
Thank you very much, Mary Ann. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Aaron S. McDonald, 3 State Street, to the Library Board of Directors for a 6-year term set to expire December 31st, 2031.
I'll second that Aaron's reappointment.
Thank you, Aaron. All those in favor?
Aye. I'll motion for the reappointment of Alfred A. Santone, 91 William Street, to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Second?
Thank you, Al. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Keith McDowell, 1854 Hartford Turnpike, to the Parks and Rec Commission for a 4-year term set to expire December 31st, 2029.
I'll second Keith's reappointment.
Thank you very much, Keith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is, I'll make a motion for the reappointment of Frank A. Montagna, hopefully I said Frank's name correctly, 123 Shawmut Avenue, to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Second?
Okay, thank you, Frank. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Lawrence Lazaroff, 30 Mallory Street, to the Police Retirement Board for a 2-year term set to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll second that reappointment of Larry.
Thank you, Larry. All those in favor?
Aye. Next, motion for the reappointment of Michael J. Frieda, 90 Highland Park Road, to the Police Retirement Board for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second?
Motion.
I'm sorry. I'll motion for that, for that reappointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I had a brain freeze for a second.
That's all right.
Because we read so many of these. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Reappointment of Donald F. Clark, 32 North Hill Road, to the Police Retirement Board for a 2-year term set to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll second the reappointment of Don.
Thank you, Don. All those in favor?
Aye. Next, motion for the reappointment of Patrick Tomac, M.D., 1155 Ridge Road, to the Police Retirement Board for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second?
Thank you, Patrick. All those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Jason Janosko, Police Union President, to the Police Retirement Board for a 2-year term set to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll second Jason's reappointment.
Thank you, Jason. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, reappointment of Michael J. Frieda, 90 Highland Park Road, to the Water Pollution Control Authority for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second.
Abstain.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Michael.
Reappointment of William J. Lane, Jr., 1060 Hartford Turnpike, the Water Pollution Control Authority for a 4-year term set to expire December 31st, 2029.
I'll second his reappointment.
Thank you, Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion for the reappointment of Thomas Muir, 23 Clark Avenue, to the Water Pollution Control Authority for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tom. All those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of David Carney, 56 Hayward Road, Hamden, Connecticut, as the Animal Control Officer for a 1-year term set to expire December 31st, 2026.
I'll second David's reappointment.
Thank you, David. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion for the reappointment of Crystal Rashba, 76 Clifton Street, Wallingford, Connecticut, as the Assistant Animal Control Officer for a 1-year term to expire December 31st, 2026.
Second.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Reappointment of Michael J. Frieda, 90 Highland Park Road, to the Volunteer Fire Department Benevolent Association Board of Governors, for a 2-year term to expire November 3rd, 2027.
I'll second Mike's reappointment.
I'll abstain.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, I'll motion for the reappointment of Donald F. Clark, 32 North Hill Road, to the Volunteer Fire Department Benevolent Association Board of Governors for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Pasquale Nuzzolillo, 7 Mansfield Road, to the Volunteer Fire Department Benevolent Association Board of Governors for a 2-year term set to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second, Pat's reappointment.
All right, thank you, Pat. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, a motion for the appointment of Todd Rickey, 27 Fallon Drive, to the Volunteer Fire Department Benevolent Association Board of Governors for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second.
All right, thank you much, Todd. All those in favor?
Aye. Reappointment of Maurice Varney, who is my captain at my station, 77 Elm Street, to the Volunteer Fire Department Benevolent Association Board of Governors for a 2-year term set to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll second Maurice's reappointment.
All right, thank you, Maurice. All those in favor?
Aye. I'll motion for the reappointment of Robert Bykowski, 99 Spring Road, as the Land Records Auditor for a 2-year term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. Robert, all those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Jeremy J. Bykowski, 175 Clintonville Road, as the Land Records Auditor for a 2-year term set to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll second that reappointment.
Thank you, Jeremy. All those in favor?
Aye. I'll motion for the reappointment of Michael Maturo, 111 North Hill Road, as the Tree Warden for a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 2027.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Mark Genovese, 1322 Ridge Road, as the Department of Motor Vehicles Hearing Officer for a 2-year term, set to expire December 31st, 2027.
I'll second Mark's reappointment.
Thank you, Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the, I'll make a motion for the reappointment of Richard Monaco, 23 Sachem Drive, as the Welfare Administrator for a 2-year term to expire December 30th, 2027.
Second.
Thank you, Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Brian Havens, North Haven Funeral Home Director, as Sub-Registrar of Vital Records for the Town of North Haven, as recommended by J. Stacy Yarborough, Town Clerk, Registrar of Vital Records for the Town of North Haven, effective December 1st, 2025, terminating on November 30th, 2027.
I'll second Brian's reappointment.
Thank you, Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion for the reappointment of John Iacobucci. I hope I said John's name correctly.
Yakabuchi. Yakabuchi, yep. So,
After all the reappointments, I'm getting dry mouth, so I'm sorry. Washington Memorial Funeral Home Director is Sub-Registrar of Vital Records for the Town of North Haven, as recommended by J. Stacy Yarborough, Town Clerk, Registrar of Vital Records for the Town of North Haven, effective December 1, 2025, terminating on November 30th, 2027.
Second.
thank you, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
thank you to our audience for allowing us to go through this very important part of this government every 2 years. And from this point forward, I'll be going around to all the boards and commission meetings to reorganize the commission, the chairs, the vice chairs, and the secretary. So this is a very important part of what we do in our government. So thank you for your patience on this. All right, next item, property taxes.
A motion, or, typically we, David, we just do these as a group. I don't see anything unusual in terms of the small rebates that we have for property tax refunds. So I'll motion that we approve these property tax refunds.
Second?
All right, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 15, the next regular meeting of our Board of Selectmen is Thursday, January 8th, here in the community room in our library. Before we wish everyone a happy holiday season, we'll turn it over to public comment. Well, let me take, Barry, you already spoke. I'll come back to you. I know, Sue, you want to speak, but Tim, your hand came first. So, no, Tim Gabriel first.
So, hi, Tim Gabriel, 18 Renee Lane. I am also the North Haven DTC chair. I wanted to thank the board first for the finding out a legal and expedited way to handle the fire truck situation, while also considering that weighty issue of making sure that the public's voice is heard. I think that while taking those other things into consideration as well along the path. So I fully support the decision that was made here tonight. This year, the North Haven DTC took a little bit more of a proactive and thoughtful approach to our appointments on boards and commission. We reviewed long-standing appointments to ensure that they remain the best fit for the community and that our Democratic representatives continue to reflect our values. This work included outreach to the members with expiring terms, conversations with board and department chairs, and internal discussions about accountability, transparency, and strengthening our pipeline of civic leaders. In some cases, this process created space for new individuals, some of whom were here tonight, who expressed interest and passion for serving. In many others, it reaffirmed our confidence in the dedicated Democrats who've been doing excellent work and deserve our continued support to carry their work forward. For many years, the Board of Selectmen has taken seriously its responsibility to maintain bipartisan representation and honor the recommendations of both party town committees. We deeply appreciate this tradition of collaboration, mutual respect, and recognition of the importance of minority representation in local government. I want to thank you for your continued partnership, and we look forward to working together to make sure that North Haven benefits from committed, capable community members serving in these important roles, and congratulations to all the folks who continue to serve our community, and thank you so much for stepping forward.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
And the other thing to note too is that, beside having a good bipartisan representation between Democrats and Republicans, and for everybody that's actually here tonight and listened to it on public TV, there are also a number of unaffiliated voters that are neither party. So I think that's also part of it being, Tim, as you very, very well said, being bipartisan. That includes people from both parties and people who are unaffiliated as well, who have been willing to serve or help the town in terms of being on these various boards and commissions. So thank you everybody as well.
Okay. Susan.
Hi, Sue Benvenuti, Bassett Road. I don't know if this is the appropriate place to make these requests for the benefit of North Haven senior citizens, but there's two things that I would like the town to start considering. And the first would be look into expanding the existing senior center and the parking area, or to build a new North Haven senior center. Sadly, the property that to the left of 191 Pool Road recently sold prior to the greater increase of members at the senior center. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I know we do when we're there. There's so many more new members, there's so many more new activities, and a lot of it is by word of mouth of how much fun it is. It's not a adult daycare, it's an adult activity center, and they have parties, they have classes, they have a lot of stuff, but they have to limit it because of the capacity of the rooms and of the actual facility. And there's many things that they do parties, and they just did a Friendsgiving, and it was maxed out. They do classes, they have to max out, and Paulette is wonderful trying to scatter us about and trying to get us to be able to do all the different activities, and everybody's doing something. So I don't know about the property to the right. The only time I ever see that field used is for parking on Fair Weekend. I don't know who owns it. if there's a way of purchasing it, if there, whatever you can do, something for us. And if the facility can't be upgraded at this time, could they at least find something for the, addressing the lack of parking spaces? Because 94 people went to that Friendsgiving. You know.
So here's the story with the field to the north. So that's owned by the fairgrounds. Prior to the I-91 highway coming in, that was actually the fair. That was the fair, and we straddled on both sides of what we now see to be I-91. So I am very close with the fairgrounds. Years ago, we thought maybe we can build another senior apartment complex there, or maybe even expand. But the fairgrounds is not going to sell it. So, but to address your issue and concerns about parking, maybe there's something we can do to increase some parking by talking to the fairgrounds, see if we can add some spots there at least during these big events. Now that building was built, I would say it was 17 years ago. And we had a big ribbon cutting back then, I remember. I understand, because I'm there quite often, so I know what's going on. David and I actually talked about this before he took office. So I think we have to address it. You know, I don't know how we're going to do it, but at least maybe we can start with the parking aspect, because the people that are parking there, that are coming in for the events, are basically taking the parking spots for Parkside over there, the senior citizens who live there. So maybe there's a way we can try to carve out some incremental parking there.
Because you brought their parking over there.
Yeah.
For an affordable housing facility, there's a lot of parking spaces taken by boats and extra second cars and stuff like that over there. So that may be another issue that has to be addressed with that facility.
It could be.
So that we actually have it, we're paying taxes. This is the only thing that, I mean, this is really the only thing that's offered just for us.
Right.
And it has grown. And I'm going to say it has at least quadrupled membership since 2021. And that's good. That's good that your seniors are looking to stay here and stay active in whatever they're doing. That's great. Instead of going off to Wallingford, or, I go to Guilford. I mean, I went to facilities that were fun and active. This one is, But I know we rebuild other facilities, police department, fire department, schools. So I'm just saying, I mean, while all these things are closing down or whatever, and you're rebuilding, put it on the burner over there that, hey, these seniors need something. I pay $9,000 a year in taxes. I've paid for taxes in this town for years for the school system and never used it. I love the town, but I think it's time for some of the seniors to get some give back on it. Just put it on the burner. I don't know who deals with it. Look at it. Somebody said, oh, too bad the racket club didn't move us over there, or something like that. I don't think we were big enough then. We are big enough now to move into something bigger or get an answer, whatever it can do for us. You're going to address the parking issue. I think that's great. The second issue, again for seniors, would be a revision of the current criteria for senior tax freeze. I agree with the clawback. And if there's a clawback, then it should definitely be available to a lot more seniors, with either a no income limit as far as your pension, and that's one thing I think should be addressed, and that the amount of the property, I think it was $500,000. This reassessment brought way too many of our houses up 30 to 54%. So that should be readdressed. And I don't know who deals with that tax freeze criteria, but those really should be addressed. And the tax freeze should be available to, I would want it available to all your seniors, just because they're here, they've been here. And you can make criteria, you have to be in for 10 years, you have to be in town for 15, you can put that in there, but something to make it for people. I've been here since 1986. Okay, so I'm just saying it would be more accessible. From what I found out when this discussion was, and I want to say it was March, it could have been May, I don't even keep track of days because the clock was a problem with people. And the fact that only, I think 17 or 70 people in town use it, whatever the number was, it was very minimal. So just saying, and these are, yeah, while we're playing setback, we talk. When we play in canasta, we talk, you know? I mean, we do. So I'm just saying, just remember the seniors, because the seniors definitely have been supporting the town.
There's no talk during bingo. I know that.
Bingo, it's funny you say that. When I
There's
started
no
go,
talk.
no, when I started
Yeah.
going to that senior center, I think there were 15 people at bingo.
Yeah,
There's sometimes, the average I'll say is like 35 now.
yeah,
There's 50 people there.
It's very
It made it
intense.
fun,
yeah.
just
Okay, Susan.
Yeah.
old people.
Thanks.
Okay.
Mary, you have your hand up.
Mary White, Summer Lane. So I have two topics tonight. So the first one, so at the October Board of Education meeting, the chairman, Ron Bathrick, mentioned the assessments on the 4 elementary schools was complete. The company concluded all 4 elementary schools need to be knocked down and built again. So they were still looking at the numbers, they being Ron Bathrick and the superintendent of schools, Patrick Stirk. And Ron stated the numbers are staggering. At November's Board of Education meeting, the chairman said the company who did the assessments will give a 20 to 25 minute presentation about the 4 elementary schools at the December 11th Board of Education meeting, which starts at 6:30 p.m. Right now, we do not know the location yet. So if you want to learn the details of the assessments, I recommend going to this meeting. So I have a couple of questions. Is there a plan to hold public informational sessions or meetings where the details of the assessments can be given in a larger setting like the high school?
Well, I've spoken, and I work closely with the Board of Ed, and that's the plan. I'm not sure when it's going to be unveiled, but the whole plan is to identify what the issues are and get public comment, yes.
Okay,
Public
good.
input.
And then the second question I have on the topic is there a plan to form a 4 elementary schools building committee?
That's not, I think that's a little bit farther off.
Farther off, okay,
Right,
thank
yes.
you. My second topic, so I called the Selectman's office on Wednesday and I spoke with Tammy. And so I would like to make a request to have the town attorney come to the January Board of Selectmen meeting where he or she can give us the bullet points on the over 100 pages of the Housing Bill 8002 that was recently passed and signed into law by Governor Lamont. So I only know some of the highlights, such as public hearings have been eliminated for residential apartment building projects where the properties are zoned commercial, so there's no more public input. There is also a reduction in the zoning parking requirements. So under HB 8002, these residential apartment building project applications will usurp the power of the planning and zoning commissions throughout the state. These must be approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission, regardless if they violate local zoning regulations. House Bill 8002 removes people's First Amendment right of free speech, eliminating public hearings. This housing bill, 8002, does not include an affordable housing component like many people were led to believe. These will be fair market, $2,800 to $3,800 per month in rent, apartment buildings popping up anywhere commercial zone properties currently are throughout towns and cities in the state. So I believe, or I think it would be advantageous to have the town attorney come speak to us and give us the bullet points, and so we can learn many of the other details about this legislation that was passed.
I will consider that. It's something I'm actively involved with, this whole situation. In fact, I'll be doing a press conference Monday on this. So I won't get too deep into it, but if anyone has heard that we're going to lose local control, it's not going to happen. House Bill 5002 we would have stripped all of local control. we would have been forced to, I think it was 400 more affordable units in North Haven. And that would have been a situation where we had no control over that point. There were a lot of people that supported that. The governor came aboard, and I was one of the ones he called in July. It was a Sunday, and he had this bill. But would you be part of a statewide task force with like 8 or 9 other mayors across the state to help us retool this? So both Republicans and Democrats alike, my colleagues all over the state, worked with the governor's office, and we worked with some of the General Assembly to retool this. Now, I was up at CCM at our annual conference where I spoke, and Susan Raff from WFSB, she asked me to make some comments, and I said, is it perfect? Of course not, but it's a lot better than what it was. The one thing we're going to be faced with is a fair rent commission. Fair rent commission, the populations now have been dropped to 15,000 people. So one of my colleagues who is in another town, there's lawsuits and litigation all over because government has now been put into a situation where the private companies who own these buildings are now adjudicating disputes between tenants and the owners of the building. So I have a plan on that in terms of how to comply with the law, but also to redirect it so that we're in sort of a regional format on rent commissions. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Mary, because I've been doing this now for going in my 9th term. There is nobody that has the relationships that I have with the developers, including housing contractors. And I can tell you that if we look at North Haven, we built 225 apartments over on Washington Avenue. We have the bottom floor that's mixed use. 88 apartments with this one developer who I work closely with back of Connex. We have John Orsini, who we're working with on the old Dino site for some apartments. 13 or 14 years ago, I was involved with John Orsini and the housing people to put the Village on States, 124 units there. Piper's property, Piper Farms, has been sold. We're putting roughly 55 over units there to be an adjunct to and an extension of Tuscan Villa. So we're in a situation that's better than most because we've already been doing this. For us, maybe if the Pfizer site, a train station comes in, because I'm working with the state on that, that may be a couple years away. But, you know, a transit-oriented district was part of this whole bill. So we as North Haven are going to marginalize from any conspiracy theories because there is 8-30G out there. But the developers don't want to do that unless they're forced to. In the Monowee section, you know it well there, when Bob Pesapane came in on planning and zoning approved those apartments down there, Mary, we worked with them to modify it to coincide with the residents' feedback as they didn't want it too high. So we're in a position where I don't say we have maximized housing, but we're in a position that we're building more and that we still have a couple of opportunities to build more. So the risk for us is not as great maybe as others see. But I can tell you, because I'm directly involved with it, planning and zoning is not going to lose local control. And any of those developers that try to force the parking that's part of this, I know the developers. They're not going to do something that's going to adversely affect the character of the town on a parking number that may need to be put because of the bill, because they're going to work with us to see what we can do because of our relationship with them, so they're not going to try to force it down us. So I'm not concerned about this at all, but I'm going to take your comment under consideration. We'll see what we can do, okay?
Okay, and so on that, so is the highlight that I mentioned about public hearings on these particular residential apartment building projects where the zone is commercial, is that true or false, that the public hearings have been eliminated?
So it's the municipality, if they choose, okay, to go with that, what you just said, because the bill is like a couple hundred pages, you're right. So there's a lot of details in there, right?
Yes.
So I'm kind of giving you the overview. But if the municipality agrees that a dilapidated industrial building can be repurposed, and we did that. We did that on those 225 apartments about 9 years ago. So the municipality has the right to say we don't need a public hearing in conjunction with that. I think, and we'll double check, the municipality could say, can still open it up to a public meeting. I'll have to check on that.
Okay, yeah, because I
Okay.
think,
It's a gray area. I agree
yeah,
with you.
stopping the people's First Amendment right of free speech.
Yes,
just-
you're
It's
right.
it's just not good, a good
Right.
idea at all.
So, very good, but thanks for your comments on
you.
that, thank you. Okay.
Mike, I think you're running out of time for next
Oh.
meeting.
Yeah, I just want to tell you what's going on with me, because I'm all over now, right? And this is the time of year where I'm invited to all these events. I'm representing North Haven. I have to be at this big event. It's a big Christmas event for one of the big companies who has a retirement. They're waiting for me there. There's 40 people there, so I got about 3 minutes. I can answer any other questions, but we can continue this with David and with Bill
Yeah.
if it goes on. Any other questions for me?
Mike, well, we may not be able to answer the questions, but at least you can make your point or comments, and Mike can then listen to it on public
Yeah, I can do
TV.
that, yes, yeah.
And we can always get back to people, so. But no, I think, it's, you're right at, you don't even got a minute left.
Anything more for me? There doesn't seem to be any more public comment.
We can stay for more, like, Alex, you can still,
I have
Mike
comments,
has to
but
go.
you can definitely go.
yeah. Because I think it actually is good for the town that he's going to this, because it's economic development oriented.
What's the comment? Who's got the comment? Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll stay there, minutes, okay, so I can still get there.
Happy holidays to all of y'all. I just want to say with the snow coming up, so Alex Shawn, 50 Fountain Drive, I should know about it by now. With the snow coming, if we could ask Public Works to really please be considerate when they're pushing the snow to not pack it up so high against stops. Not only do you have just your everyday people, it's dangerous to have them walking over these snow mounds to get onto the roads. You have senior citizens, you have people in wheelchairs, you have people in, I don't know how to say, strollers, walkers. It's extremely dangerous, it's unsafe. Also, it's really unfair. You were talking about making a more public transportation friendly North Haven. I really like the consideration, so that's my first point I wanted to make, especially on like Washington Avenue and things like that. The other question is, I know we got a grant for increased public development, sidewalks and so on here in North Haven. Is there going to be increase in bus seating? Because there is nothing worse, I promise you, than sitting in mud or sitting on a cold rock in winter. It's awful, and I really would love to see an increase in like bus seating here in North Haven. Just to add consideration, there's nothing like loving your neighbor than just providing a basic need, especially after a long shift. It's exhausting stuff.
Alex, you're suggesting a bus little depot in glass that's enclosed, is that what you're saying? No.
Dream, yes, but even just a chair. I will
Okay.
take a chair, a folding chair is good enough. It is better than sitting on a cold, and do you know the McDonald's on Washington Ave? You know how he has all those little,
Yes.
Okay, there's like those tiny rocks. That is what people sit on, or they sit in the mud. It's awful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So even just basic chairs, I don't care for, I will go buy folding chairs if you let me, and I will just put them up and down Washington Ave if that's okay. Just to be kind to people. It's a basic, just love that you can show your neighbor, especially after a long shift.
Thank you, okay. Mrs. Barrett? Yep.
Just real quick, I said this in November, I just wanted to say it again. I fully support the new backup ladder truck purchase. I just wanted to be very clear about that. My questions and concerns this evening, as I said, were purely procedural, but I really, I appreciate the purchase of this particular truck, and I actually learned something. It's actually not just a straight ladder truck, it's actually called a quint, which stands for quintuple combination pumper, so it's a combination engine and ladder truck. And I'm hoping that once we do actually take possession of this, that both our career firefighters as well as our volunteer firefighters get a chance to train on it. I think that's extremely important. And what I really appreciated too about this entire process, it's been a long process coming, is that our firefighters actually played an active role in the design of this particular apparatus. And they actually took the time, go to Ohio and go to Pennsylvania in order to provide their on-site input for the specific design specifications on this particular apparatus, and I think that's really, really important. And lastly, as we're approaching both the holiday season and the colder weather, I'd like to just ask the people of North Haven to please, if you have a little bit of reserves or those that have a lot of reserves, please donate to our food banks. As you hear about clothing and coat drives, go through your closets, clean them, donate them. And also, as we're approaching the holidays, as I mentioned, you'll be hearing about toy drives too. And in particular, with this economy, I think that just donating a toy or two would really make a big difference in the lives of some of our community's children. So that's all. Thank you so much and happy holidays.
All right, I think Mike, do you have we're good, okay. So I'd like to say on behalf of David and Bill and myself and Valerie here, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a wonderful holiday season, and we support everybody here in North Haven. Kwanzaa, everything, we support everybody. We're gonna have a very couple of poignant ceremonies coming up. We have the Christmas tree lighting this Sunday. I've got our kid governor who's going to be, I'm bringing in to speak at that tree lighting event. And then we have another poignant affair and a poignant event happening with the menorah lighting on the green. And that, we're working with Rabbi Hecht on that. So we are looking forward to celebrating this holiday season. It's been a difficult year for many people and many families. And we're trying to move forward and support everybody whom we can here. So I'd like to thank you, wish you a very happy holiday season on behalf of Bill, on behalf of David and Valerie here as part of our Board of Selectmen office. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out tonight, too.
Yeah, thanks,
It's a
everybody.
cold night.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Yeah, get out of here. I'll see you.
Oh my gosh, really? All right, go, go, go.
Thank you.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven.